Hello, beautiful people. It's Cinderella. Welcome to the channel. Today we're back again with another video, and this is about Hollywood. This is titled Val Kilmer's final warning about Hollywood goes viral. Okay. This is from the channel The Petty Show. We don't know how true this is. We're just gonna say all of this are alleged, which we're gonna check together, and all of your thoughts and your contribution in the comments below. Let's dive right in.
Yeah, I'm kind of blacklisted. I haven't gotten a studio job in 15 years.
So you feel in a way that you are banned from the...
No, not in a way.
You are?
Yeah, I think.
So I really didn't have a chance to defend myself.
Right, yeah.
So the hardest part was calling friends and people that I worked with.
It's embarrassing, isn't it?
One of the things they buy for all that money, your life for a period of time.
From Hollywood royalty to straight-to-DVD obscurity, Val Kilmer's story is a wild ride filled with A-list stardom, throat cancer, and, allegedly, a blacklist that cost him 15 years of his career. And now that he's passed away at 65, fans are doing more than just remembering the Iceman. They're asking what really happened to Val Kilmer, because the timeline of his downfall is weird. Like, too weird to ignore. Was Val Kilmer blacklisted, or did he just know too much? Let's rewind to the 1980s and early 90s, when Val Kilmer wasn't just in movies, he was the movie. He had the smirk, the range, and the face that made casting directors throw contracts at him. He was trained at Juilliard, and Kilmer had this intense theatrical energy that practically screamed leading man, and for a while he was. From Top Gun to Tombstone, The Doors to Batman Forever, Kilmer was booked, busy, and bankable. He played Jim Morrison so well that people started thinking he might have actually been Jim Morrison. And when he stepped into the Batman suit, he joined an elite Hollywood club that most actors only dream of. But then, things shifted. Hard and fast. Around 1999, Kilmer went from box office mainstay to background noise. No more blockbusters, no more big premieres, just a series of low-budget, straight-to-DVD films. People in the industry said he was difficult on set. Let's talk Batman Forever. Val Kilmer ate that role. Like, say what you want about the chaotic Batman movie timelines, but his version, dark, mysterious, low-key, unhinged in the best way, and the fans loved it. The movie dropped in 1995 and made bank like over $330 million worldwide. Safe to say, it wasn't a flop. But when the sequel Batman and Robin came around, Val's just gone. No Batman suit, no follow-up, no warning. They swapped him out for George Clooney like nothing happened. Kilmer was at the height of his career. Why would you not bring him back for a major franchise unless something messy happened behind the scenes? Well, messy is an understatement. In a later interview with The Independent, director Joel Schumacher aired it all out. And when I say he did not hold back, he straight up called Val psychotic. Like, publicly. He was dragging Val like it was personal. He even said, "I'm tired of defending overpaid, overprivileged actors," and prayed he'd never work with Val again. Then he said, he was badly behaved, he was rude and inappropriate. Then we had...
Do you know what is quite interesting in Hollywood is why do they always say the exact same thing? Like that a particular actor is being difficult to work with, he is done or whatever, and they are done working with it. Why do they always say the exact same thing? Up until a particular time, they were not difficult to work with, right? They were not difficult. They were very good to work with, and then it got to a particular point, then all of them became so difficult to work with. Why is that? Haven't you noticed that it's always the same thing? Difficult to work with, difficult to work with. Why is that?
2 weeks where he did not speak to me, but it was bliss. Let's be honest. When has being difficult ever stopped Hollywood from working with someone, especially if they're a moneymaker? Look at how many male actors are literal nightmares behind the scenes and still get Oscars. Some fans believe the difficult narrative was just a cover, a way to push him out quietly.
Yeah, I had ideas, insecurities, obviously, about myself that I projected onto the movie business. Just the sounds coming out of my mouth. It was just absurdly unrealistic. So apparently, I have an evil twin.
Because here's where it gets sticky. Kilmer himself said he was blacklisted. Straight up. According to Val, he didn't fall from grace because of bad behavior.
But do you think that people found it difficult to work with you because
Yeah,
of that?
what's the one past difficult? Impossible?
Impossible.
Yeah, I'm kind of blacklisted. I haven't gotten a studio job in 15 years.
So you feel in a way that you are banned from the...
No, not in a way.
You are?
Yeah, I think.
Are your goal to get back, or...?
Yeah, I'd love to. I've always watched movies and wondered what I'd be like in that part.
He wished to have done everything differently.
If you get back, will you behave in another way, or...?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the way that gets me hired again. I was very outspoken about very specific things about the art. But it's a business. And I acted like it wasn't.
He said it was because he spoke up.
I was a dumb actor. But I did complain quite a bit when I was younger. I didn't appreciate the business that afforded me the lifestyle that I very quickly enjoyed. Very quickly. I starred in my first movie. I was the lead in the first play I did professionally. And now that I don't have that privilege, I wish that I loved more. I want to be a better person. I try to figure that out every day, and of being more grateful.
But spoke up about what exactly? That's where the speculation begins. In interviews over the years, Kilmer hinted at a deeper problem in Hollywood. He described the industry as a place that demanded obedience, silence, and gratitude. No questions, no complaints. He said if you don't play by the rules, you don't work. And from 1999 on, that was his reality. 15
Exactly. So when you tell them no, then you're being difficult to work with. That is it. Just obey, obey, obey. Whether you're comfortable with it or not, obey, obey, obey. And if you're not, then you're being difficult to work with. And by being difficult to work with, you know what follows through? Blacklists. It's just the exact same thing. Like they say the exact same thing over and over again. We've said it countless times, and Hollywood is filled with power hungry people who just want to control things and expect people to do as they say.
years of silence, 15 years of almost no mainstream roles. This man, who had starred alongside Tom Cruise and Al Pacino, was now barely making headlines. And let's not forget his friendship with Tom Cruise. These two used to be close friends. But as Kilmer got forgotten, Cruise moved on with his career. To make things even worse, Kilmer's health started to crumble. In 2014, he was diagnosed with throat cancer, though he kept it private for years.
I was recently diagnosed with throat cancer. I'm still recovering, and it is difficult to talk and to be understood.
Fans noticed the scarves around his neck and the raspy voice, but many didn't realize how serious it was until he underwent a tracheotomy that permanently altered his speech.
And some ways are better than others, but I am steadily improving, so yes, of course I intend to work until I'm 150 years. I want to play the oldest man on earth.
But even then, even in the middle of all that, Kilmer refused to give up on acting. He took roles that worked with his condition. He wrote poetry. He produced a documentary about his life, filled with old home footage he'd obsessively recorded for decades. Like, this man documented everything, almost like he knew he'd have to tell his own story one day because no one else would tell it right. And it's that documentary that got people talking again. Because in Val, you don't just see a sick man reminiscing. You see someone who knows he was pushed out, someone who was blacklisted, or at least believes he was. And some fans think he might have been targeted because he refused to play ball with certain powerful people. Now here's where things start sounding like a movie he could have starred in. Around the late 90s, the exact time Kilmer's career went off the rails, there were other actors who also mysteriously vanished from Hollywood's A-list. Mel Gibson, Wesley Snipes, others. All men who either spoke out, caused waves, or, according to rumors, refused to get involved in shady elite Hollywood activities. Some social media users have speculated that Kilmer said no to something he wasn't supposed to say no to, and that cost him his career. Now peep this. Wesley Snipes was killing it in the 90s, then suddenly he's the poster child for tax evasion and goes to prison over something his accountant did? Not saying he's innocent, but like, prison? Really? When celebs with worse offenses walk around with full careers? Yeah, something's off. And remember Expendables 3 in 2014? Stallone randomly brings Kilmer, Gibson, and Snipes back into a blockbuster for the first time in years. Like he was pulling the washed, wronged legends out of retirement. And even then, none of them were top billing. They were either villains or side characters. Now, here's where it gets real trippy. There's this 1998 interview clip of Mel Gibson floating around. He's fresh off Braveheart success, and he's looking mad introspective.
You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
And nobody was really bothering to explain it to me.
They don't.
And and I formed a bunch of opinions about the town and about the people in it.
He describes it like walking into a saloon and everyone goes quiet when the outsider shows up.
The whole place can't be like, you know, Weird Town, you know, where the stranger wanders in and all the people are in the bar and they all shut up when he looks at them and they tell you don't go to the house on the hill. And it's like that. And then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like, could it? And then you find out later on the track that you are exactly on track.
Mind you, this was before his public meltdown era, before the media branded him problematic. He was clearly seeing things most of us weren't ready to acknowledge yet. And when you rewind it now, knowing what came out in the years after, the names, the lists, the court cases, it doesn't sound paranoid. It sounds like he was trying to tell us. And don't forget, the only big movie Mel did after Signs that blew up in theaters was The Passion of the Christ, a movie he financed himself because no studio wanted to touch it. It became one of the highest grossing R-rated films of all time, so clearly he wasn't done. Hollywood was done with him. One theory floating around, Kilmer's blacklisting lines up too perfectly with the timeline of another huge Hollywood event. Stanley Kubrick's final film, Eyes Wide Shut, released in 1999, the same year Kilmer fell off. If you've seen it, you already know. Secret societies, masks, freaky parties, power, control. It was giving art imitates life in the most unsettling way. Kubrick died before the final cut was released, and that's a whole rabbit hole on its own.
So it's well known that the cut presented a few days before Kubrick's death was too jarring for executives that they cut 25 minutes out without Kubrick there to oppose the decision.
Wow.
This left many storylines seemingly unresolved, so we're not really sure if the story is actually what was intended.
But back to Val. You're telling me Val Kilmer disappears from A-list status the same year Tom Cruise stars in a movie about elites doing things behind closed doors, all wrapped in secrecy and coded imagery?
The couple probably doesn't want to admit what's happening to them.
And let's not act like Val didn't have the range. This is a man who played Batman, the masked figure who operates in the shadows, uncovering the rot beneath a city's powerful elite. You ever notice how his Batman was the darkest, the most emotionally shut off, the most hollowed out behind the eyes? It's almost poetic, and then creepy when you line it up with Eyes Wide Shut. It's like the Batman mask was just the PG-13 version of that other mask. A softer metaphor for the same idea. You wear the mask, you play the game, but once you see what's behind the curtain, you can't unsee it. But don't forget, Val and Tom were rivals, not just in Top Gun, but reportedly behind the scenes too. There were whispers about tension, competition, and creative control. So while Tom Cruise kept soaring, literally and metaphorically, Val started sliding into obscurity. And not because
Apart from that, in Hollywood, they love to play pawns. They love to put, like, they put these big guys or put these various actors and actresses up against each other and see which one wins and which one they're gonna put in the spotlight, and then the other which they're gonna shove somewhere. So it's common knowledge why they do it, and that's why you see sometimes you see there may be bodies. That's why you see in Hollywood they have no friends, right? It's a lonely place to be in because you don't know. Maybe you might be close to this person, and you think maybe this person have got your back, but later that's the exact same person that they're gonna put to be up against you, to betray you, to sell you out or whatever. And it is common in the industry what they do. Is not even surprising at this point. So yeah, but again, in Hollywood, they always have one agenda or one thing or the other, and they're gonna tell you to do, force you to do it, or let you do it. And if you don't, you're being difficult. It's just the same thing. The same thing. Why is that? Why is that?
his talent dipped, not because audiences turned on him, because something changed. Let's not ignore Val's reputation for filming everything. Like, this man was documenting his entire life long before iPhones or TikTok.
I have thousands of hours of videotapes and film reels that I've shot throughout my life and career.
Shut the video camera off. I will keep it on until we're rehearsing.
Oh, bam! He had reels from childhood, from sets, from his private life. He was an artist, sure, but also, he had evidence. And people in power do not like when the cameras keep rolling after cut.
Yeah.
And to make it even more suspicious, there's this eerie overlap between Kilmer's fall and the rise of whispers about that island. The one connected to certain billionaire figures who allegedly had ties to Hollywood elites. The one that mysteriously lined up with a lot of careers going quiet. We're not saying Kilmer was involved or even knew anything directly, but the timing is wild. Then there's the Mandela effect. Yes, the one where people swear they remember Kilmer dying years ago. When Top Gun Maverick came out, some fans were convinced it was a posthumous tribute.
Someone commented the moment I posted that, and they said, this is, weird because I thought he died a couple years ago. And then I thought back, and I thought, wait a second. When Top Gun Maverick came out, he died right before it, and they had this big tribute about it.
They remember obituaries, articles, tributes, but nothing can be found.
It was the last time you were going to see Val Kilmer on screen. And I remember he looked so frail and ill in Top Gun Maverick. And I swear I remember them announcing that he died either a couple months before or a couple months after the movie came out. I cannot be the only person that remembers this. Do any of you remember Val Kilmer dying back when Top Gun Maverick came out? And now they're trying to say he died again, like a couple days ago? This is some serious Mandela effect, man.
It's eerie, it's confusing, and it's fueling even more conspiracy talk. Some fans even suggest his return in Maverick was a deepfake or pre-film before a secret death that was only just now publicly acknowledged. Wild? Yes, but online the theories are out of control. Adding to the heartbreak, Kilmer's net worth at the time of his death was reportedly just $10 million. Shocking for a man whose movies earned over $3.7 billion worldwide. According to fans, a combo of his alleged blacklisting, medical bills, and loss of leading roles drained him financially. He spent millions on holistic treatments, experimental therapies, and spiritual journeys. But the industry he once helped build? Silent. And nobody really clocked it while he was alive, but Val Kilmer was playing chess, not checkers, when it came to protecting his kid's future. So before Val passed away, he didn't just leave a will, he allegedly built a fortress, a whole 3-layer trap, basically booby-trapped his entire fortune to make sure his ex, Joanne Wally, couldn't touch a dime that was meant for their kids, Mercedes and Jack. He'd allegedly racked up an estimated $680 million over his 35-year career. That's A-list plus savvy investments energy. But instead of just handing that down the usual way, he wrapped it in conditions. Rumor has it, his will basically froze the real inheritance until Joanne turned 70, and she's only 58 right now, so that's a 12-year timeout for her. During that time, she's apparently only allowed to receive $50,000 a month, which still sounds—
Apart from that, let me just say this. Yeah, people believe that, oh, maybe that time where the rumors were spreading or were out and about that he's dead. Who do you think are the people who spread these rumors? Because I mean, they know exactly that if they share this, that people would believe it that first time. So lots of people, maybe that was just the beginning of the end to say, okay, forget about him. They're presenting or bringing somebody in new. And when it eventually so happened, now is like, oh, it's gone for real now. let them bring somebody else, and let them put somebody else in the spotlight to say, oh, we've got this. And maybe they just sort of bring that because they know that is going to make people talking, and you remember like, oh, where was he? How come we've not been seeing him in the movies? Obviously they knew exactly what they were doing, and it's Hollywood. Do you think Hollywood just like those said rumors, they just woke up and got out of the blues? It may be round table, people will discuss and say, "Oh, okay, let's just share this information," and there will be somebody that they will say, okay, leak this story, let people hear, and then when it whatever or whatever, let them know what they are doing and have things already prepared or put in place. Hollywood knows exactly how they play their mind games. It's all about mind games, and Hollywood is the big guys for this.
Like money wait. But in Beverly Hills terms, that's brunch money and a pair of Louboutins maybe. And here's the thing, that 12-year wait lands after California's statute of limitations for alimony runs out, so legally she can't even come back crying later. But it gets more savage. Val allegedly took $23 million and dropped it into Bitcoin. Encrypted, secured, locked down tighter than your favorite influencer's Finsta. He split it between Mercedes, Jack, and his lawyer. Here's where it gets creepy. Just before his death, Kilmer posted photos of a Batman mask gifted to him by artist David Cho.
I have an answer for us. It's been a while.
Some say he was trying to say goodbye, revisiting the role he allegedly regretted giving up. Others think it was his final tribute to a time when he still had a voice, literally and figuratively. His daughter, Mercedes, confirmed his passing from pneumonia, a cause of death that, weirdly enough, also pops up a lot when celebrities die under unusual circumstances. Some users online have speculated about how convenient pneumonia seems to be, especially for those with a history of conflict with powerful people. Take Diddy, for example, and everyone around him who's died, including Kim Porter.
Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only two left are Puffy and Al almost died. Heavy D was found dead, face down in the heart attack. Andre Harrell, heart attack. Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms.
It's just speculation, but it's out there. In the end, Kilmer's life was a mix of triumph and tragedy. A Juilliard-trained actor who had the world at his feet, then watched it crumble beneath him, allegedly because he said the wrong thing to the wrong people at the wrong time. And now that he's gone, the internet is doing what it does best, trying to piece together a puzzle that Hollywood would rather keep buried. So what really happened to Val Kilmer? Was it the attitude, the illness, or was it something darker? All we know for sure is that his voice may have been silenced, but the story isn't. And if this has you spiraling, don't worry. We've got another deep dive coming next. Stick around and check out our next video because trust me, it's messy. Stay tuned.
I mean, it's Hollywood. They know exactly what they're doing. They already killed his career, and now they're like, okay, let's let them push this information out there, people, and be like, oh, it's rumors. But again, it's very convenient that almost everybody in Hollywood or people who pass in Hollywood have to die from the same or common sickness or common ailment, pneumonia. Isn't that really, really convenient that most of the Hollywood's actors or people in the entertainment industry seem to be dying of the exact same thing, pneumonia? And some of them seem to be having the exact same kind of, or maybe the same kind of sicknesses, ailment, illness, cancer, right? It's pretty, pretty, really convenient in Hollywood. But again, they know exactly what they're doing. They automatically just blacklist you because how dare you not give them or not work or follow their orders in Hollywood? You have to, because I mean it's Hollywood and they're the powerful guns or they're the powerful ones, so you have to follow their orders, which is insane. And then if you don't, then you're being difficult to work with. Yeah, you're you're good to work with up until the time you told them or you tell them no, then you're difficult to work with. It's interesting. But again, in Hollywood, it's common knowledge, common practice. It's no surprise at all how they constantly blacklist people, and they just put people up against each other, which doesn't even make any sense. But again, the guys are out there to make money, so they know exactly what to do and to play their chess games. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.